Happy Monday, good morning, good morning. We are gonna talk about mature, aging eyes, and we're gonna troubleshoot. So, if you are jumping on, say hi, my name is Lauren, I'm 43 years old. I love helping women learn how to adjust their makeup as we age. So, I'm so excited you're here. If you have any questions throughout this live, please ask. But I know that I put up a video the other day, I think it was yesterday. Hello. I know I put a video up the other day and a bunch of people had questions on it. It was about how to apply eyeshadow for more mature eyelids, and it was fast. And I know that I only get a short window for people to watch. And so we're gonna be slowing everything down today. Hello from Colorado. Hello. I'm so glad you guys are joining me. I just got back last night at midnight. Hi, Deborah. I just got back last night at midnight from a girls' retreat, and my dog was up all night long, so she's not feeling very good. So it's been very, very long night. I haven't had a lot of sleep. I thought this is a perfect day to go live because you can see the difference in my eyes, how we get puffy, all the things. We're gonna be working all over that. Hello, hi Kelly. Okay. So let's just get right into it. This is gonna be maybe a bit of a longer video, but I really want to make sure to answer your questions. So if you're catching the replay, you can ask any questions. I'm always in my comment section and I'm here to help. Hello from all over the world. Oh my goodness. Okay, so first things first, I wanna talk about a couple of things. So this is my one compact makeup. This is what I'm gonna be working from. These are the eyeshadows I'm gonna be using. But inside this compact is all of my makeup, everything I need for my entire face. Everything is customizable. We have small palettes, big palettes, all the things. So I am going to put my number here. You can text me at any time and comment the word makeup. Let's see, I'm gonna just pin this. You can text the word makeup to my number and my form, my color match form will come. And you can fill it out and I give you personal recommendations. Okay, let me see if I can get this to work. And okay, this is for a free color match, okay? And I'm just gonna pin that. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, really cool things. We just had Seint's virtual conference, and that is where my compact's from, and we are going to have a global expansion. I'm so excited. So all of my UK girls, my Australian girls, and my girls from Mexico, you're gonna be able to get Seint here very soon. They haven't released a date yet, but I am just so excited to get this to you. So I have an email list going, so as soon as I know, I can email you. So I'm gonna be putting that in my stories today. Just make sure that you're filling that out. That way I have your information, I can let you know when we go live. If you are wanting to get my free color match form, you have to text that number to get the form. So if you comment makeup here, the comments disappear, so I'm so sorry I won't see them. So make sure you text that number. Okay. Like I said, my name is Lauren. I'm 43 years old. I woke up this morning. I told you I didn't get a lot of sleep. I want you to look at the difference in my eyes, okay? This one has a lot more lid space than this one. This one woke up really puffy. And as we age, we deal with things like this, okay? So our eyes, as we age, are getting a little bit more textured. Maybe you're noticing you're getting more of a hood over your eye because that's what happens. Our brow bone, everything gets a little bit more sunken in, we produce less collagen. So how do we combat these things with our makeup without aging ourselves, okay? So that's what we're gonna be doing today. So first things first, I'm gonna be giving you lots of information today. I will make sure that I put the links for this when the video is posted for everything I'm gonna talk about. But I am going to be giving you a lot of products, a lot of brush recommendations throughout this entire live, okay? So make sure that you save this, make sure that you come back to it because it is a lot of good information that you're gonna be able to keep later on. Okay, so the first thing we wanna do as we're working with our eyes is I want you to assess your eyes just a little bit. So some of us have deep set eyes. That's what my eyes are mostly. If you look at this eye today, this is a great example today of differences of how we can wake up. But deep set eyes are eyes that are set back farther in your head. They have more of a crease. They have a deeper crease. And you have some lid space when I have my eyes open. Hooded eyes are going to be more like if I was to go like this, you're gonna have a sliver of a lid space, maybe no lid space at all, and you're gonna have a more prominent brow bone, and this is gonna hang over the eye, which that happens a lot as we age because we get more maybe puffy, swollen, or it's just what happens as we age, that brow bone gets heavier. So how are we going to combat that? Let's get started with that. So if you have any questions, like I said, ask away. I'm here to help, but we're gonna just kind of start with primer, okay? I am a big proponent of primer. A lot of people don't think you need to prime. Personally, at 43 years old, I work with a lot of mature clients, and I notice, and I've noticed on myself, noticed on them, our lids as we age get darker. We get a lot of discoloration on the lids. So if you pop straight onto your lids with an eyeshadow color, it's not going to look like the color that you had in the pan. And so what we want to do first is we want to make sure that we even out the eye space. Even if you don't have a lot of eye space, a primer is going to hold your makeup on all day, which who has time to fix it, but it's also going to even everything out. So this is the one I like. This is the MAC Paint Pot. It's in the color Painterly. So you can see it's a really good match to my normal color of my skin. So I'm just going to take a little bit of my finger and I'm just going to apply that. Now I do have mascara on. You don't have to start with mascara. I just did because I had to go run some errands this morning before I jumped on. But I'm going to prime from my lid space to my brow bone. So that means that anywhere I apply makeup, I'm going to have an even surface, okay? So if you have loose or textured skin, just tap the product on instead of trying to fight the skin. If you're fighting the skin, you're gonna get frustrated. So you can just use your finger and kind of tap like this. Now this is a cream formula, so it's going to be very nice and gentle on the skin. It's gonna act like natural skin. I'm a big proponent of cream as we age because it is very skin-like substance, and so it's not going to sit in fine lines and wrinkles. It's not going to kind of give you a look of wearing makeup. It's very natural. So once you've done that, we're gonna set the primer in place. So I am going to use this powder. You can use any powder. You can use a translucent one. I like to use a pink powder, and the reason I like to use a pink powder, I'm just getting a brush here, is because it's gonna brighten. So pink powders are gonna brighten and they look really nice. You don't need much at all, but you're just gonna tap onto everywhere you put the primer. So you can see that's already getting rid of any discoloration that I had on my eyes, and now I'm going to be starting with a smooth blank canvas. So that means all my eyeshadows are gonna go on really nicely. Okay, so now I've primed and I've put on my powder. That is the very first step, okay? If you have oily eyelids, make sure you're not skipping the powder step on your eyelids. All right, next, we are gonna talk about color placement in just a minute, but I wanna start with brushes. Brushes are going to be a really big deal with aging or mature eyes. We all have probably had one eyeshadow brush that we might have had since we were in our 20s, and maybe it's not working for you anymore, and I'm gonna explain why, okay? So most eyeshadow brushes are about this size, okay? Nice, fluffy, but rather large. Now, if I have more mature eyes or I have hooded eyes and I go in with this huge brush right away, can you see how much bigger that brush is than the lid space, my real estate on my eye? It's way too big. So if I go on with that, I'm gonna get skipping, I'm going to get it all over the place, I'm not gonna get a good blend, and I'm also really not gonna be able to get into this eye space at all because it's too big. If you do not have that problem, you don't have to worry about your brush size. But if you do have less lid space, I wanna show you what I would recommend. So, I'm gonna kind of just show you different sizes. There are so many different sizes when it comes to eyeshadow brushes. It's really important you pick one for your eye shape and size. So I'm gonna show you a couple of these. These are all from BK Beauty. I love BK Beauty brushes. I do have a discount code. I will make sure to put that when I do post this. But look at the difference in these sizes, okay? So this one I would still say is too large. If you have hooded eyes or less lid space, I would reach for something a lot smaller. Look at the difference when I put that up to my eye versus something like this. This is gonna have a really hard time getting into that lid space, where this one is going to get right into where I need it to, and it's gonna be easier to work into those crevices. As we age, this area around our eyes and our lids and things like that, it gets smaller. It's harder to work with. So we gotta pick tools that are going to work for the areas that you're working for. So I really like this one. This is the BK Beauty A502 brush. And then I also like, where's my other favorite one? I also really like this one. This is the A504 brush. See the difference in sizes there? So if you're really hooded, this one's really good for you to use, okay? So first things first, find brushes that are small that fit what you're working with, okay? Next, we're gonna talk a little bit about color, okay? So with color, when we were in our 20s, it really didn't matter. I mean, I really don't think it ever really mattered what I put on my eyes, I mean, it was fine, right? It didn't matter. You could do a great smoky eye and it still made your eyes look really good. But unfortunately, like as we age, if we were to go in and just put like really dark colors on the eyes, it does make our eyes appear smaller. And especially if you have hooded eyes, it's a little bit, it's just not the most youthful look, okay? And I'm gonna explain color theory just a little bit here, very short. If you're using a really dark color and you're placing it on your lids, dark is gonna recede. So anywhere on the face, if you're using contour, contour is meant to recede. So if you're putting a dark color somewhere, it's going to make things appear smaller, just like black eyeliner, right? I have an eyeliner video right now where I showed the total difference of how placement can make a huge deal. So when you use a dark color, you're going to be pulling back the eye. So if you have a very if you have a bigger eye, dark colors are great. But if we're working with hooded eyes or more mature eyes or aging eyes, probably putting that dark color in the lid is not gonna be your best option, okay? And I am gonna do a side-by-side just so you guys can see, and maybe you can see what you like. Now, with all of this said, do what works for you. If you are like, Lauren, I love my dark eyes, then you do that, because what makes you feel beautiful is what makeup's about. It's doing what makes you feel beautiful. I'm just giving suggestions. These are all suggestions, okay? You can use anything in a color palette for any of these looks. You just want to have a dark, a medium, and a light color. So 3 colors, okay? And I'm going to be using kind of these purpley colors today and some pinks to kind of show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go in on one eye with a bigger brush. It looks like this. And I'm going to be doing the wrong way on here and the right way on here so you can see the difference. And I'm going to start with, whoa, just kidding. I'm not using that brush. I just threw it across the floor. I'm going to use a different brush. Oh my goodness. We're going to use the same size brush. Okay, so with that, I'm going to start on this side and I'm going to use a dark color on the lid space so you can see what that looks like. The next thing is, if you have hooded eyes or you have less of a lid space, you want to look straight forward when you're doing your makeup. If I close my eye and I apply my makeup, when I open my eye, if I don't have a lot of real estate there, it's going to disappear. I'm not going to see my color at all. So if you're doing that and you can't see your color, keep your eyes open and look straight ahead. Sometimes even holding just a mirror right in front of you so you're just looking straight ahead is going to be helpful. So I'm going to start with a dark color. And I'm doing this on purpose, okay? Because I would never put this on my lid myself. But I'm gonna start with this dark color right here. And I'm gonna show you, mind you, I don't have hooded eyes, okay? This is swollen, so it looks a little bit more hooded today. But if I was to have really hooded eyes, if I do what I'm about to do, it's not gonna show up. But I'm gonna close my eye, use a really big brush, and I'm gonna sweep that over. Now, first of all, do you notice what's happening here with this motion that I'm doing? See how the texture on my skin and see how that's skipping. Dark is always gonna show more texture. It's always gonna show more skipping. It's gonna show all of the things. And the motion that I'm doing with this big fluffy brush is just accentuating that. It's not giving an even coverage. It's making everything look a little bit more defined. And we don't want that, okay? I can't even get a really nice blend here with this huge brush because I don't have a lot of lid space there. So if you're getting skipping, things like that, and you're using a dark color, it's just gonna like show everything. So you can see if I was to go like this, how you're barely seeing the color, it's because I closed my eyes when I did that and I put this dark color on, and immediately you can see just how that's pulling, like this fold right here, it's pulling and showing everything. And that is something that, like, if that's something that is self-conscious to you, you're self-conscious about, using that dark color is just not gonna be really great. Now, the other thing I wanna show you is using a really fluffy brush like this, and you're going in, you're gonna get skipping, but you're not gonna get an even coverage, okay? So, using something that's a little more flat, like this, to put that on the lid is also another good option. So I could come in here and put it on and get a little bit more coverage. I still am accentuating a lot of texture there. Can we see that? See how that even like accentuates the fold of my eye and makes it look more heavy? I just hope you can see that. Let me know if you can tell a difference so far. But this is what we do not want to do. We don't want to accentuate this area. In fact, what we want to do is lift. So here's what you're going to do instead. You're going to go in with a smaller brush I'm gonna use this one. This is the A502, and I'm gonna go in with a nice light medium shade. So I'm actually gonna go in with this shade right here. It's a nice matte pink color. I also don't put shimmer on my, I'm not gonna put shimmer on my crease. Like you can see on this one, I've got a lot of texture. So, oh good, I'm glad you guys can see this. So I'm not gonna put a lot of shimmer on the crease because that's also going to like just make everything look more textured. You can still wear shimmer, but I'm gonna show you where, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look straight forward and I'm going to start right. Now the other thing too, I don't have a big arch on my eyebrow, okay? My eyebrows have come down since I've gotten older. So I'm gonna kind of look at where the arch of my brow starts, and I'm going to start right underneath that, right above, and start kind of drawing out that area. Now I'm not putting a lot on my brush. I'm a big believer in less is more and going in and working the product in a nice even way versus like throwing a ton of product on. So what I'm gonna show you here is how this is gonna just by doing this, it's gonna open up the eye. I'm also holding down really low on the brush. If you're gripping your brush like this, you're gonna be pushing way too hard on the eye. You're not gonna get a really nice even coverage. So holding down low, kind of like you're just painting with a paintbrush, and also keeping your eye open. I'm not even coming down here. I'm actually just staying right at that tail because we're gonna work on that in a minute. And I'm just kind of making these really small circles. Now I have the same amount of texture on this lid, but look at the difference of how that's not accentuating it like this dark color. Look at all the lines going on here. I mean, let's be vulnerable. I'm gonna show you it all today, okay? So starting with that matte shade, building the coverage up and keeping it up towards the tail of the brow, okay? Now, I am keeping about this much of a sliver. I'm keeping that light, and I'll show you what we're gonna do with that in a minute. I'm keeping that light. I'm not going all the way to the tail of the brow, but I am kind of just keeping right up there. Now, when I'm moving my skin, look at that. I have texture. I really want you to see that I have texture. And I'm not just showing you to say I have texture. I'm showing you that because one thing that women really struggle with is when they move their brush back and forth and they're using too big of a brush, they have so much texture here, they're not able to cover it, and it's getting the skipping, i.e. right here. Okay, so that's why that small brush is gonna be so great. But look at how that's already opening up the eye by using a lighter color, okay? All right, next thing you're gonna do, you're going to then go in with a color that's slightly darker than the first. So I'm gonna go in with this one right here. This is called Claire, and I always tap off my brush before I go in. Then I'm gonna go right on top of that color, but I'm going a little more into the crease. Yes, I will, Donna. I will definitely show how to do that. I have a video this week, you guys, coming out about tear troughs and under eye circles. So just be on the look for that because it is a slower video and it will help you, I think, a ton because I also have that area and I have some ways to combat that. Okay. Now, the other thing I was going to talk about is as my eyes are open, I'm getting all of my color to shine through, right? You can see everything. And a lot of the time, people think this is like a really high placement. But when you do this, you're gonna see a huge difference in how, oh, thank you, Donna, in how your makeup is applied, how it looks. See how I'm building that color? And it's making my eye look more awake. It's making my eye look less textured. And I'm just staying here, right at the tail of the brow, and I'm working it inwards. Okay. Leaving the outer corner alone. Another mistake people make, let me show you with my wrong eye, is going in, where's my other brush? Right here. Is going in with, let's just use the same color. Going in here, and we're just kind of like doing our tail, we're doing our strokes, but look what I'm doing. Naturally coming down. That is another thing that happens. So when you're blending, if you can remember to really keep it in line with this tail of the brow, you're gonna have a more lifted look versus a droopy look. Can you see the difference there? I hope you can. Sometimes it's hard on lives, but I'm hoping that this is like showing you just like common things that like can just easily be fixed. So when you're blending, always up, up, up towards the tail. That's why we're holding down low, so we have a little more control with that. Okay, next. You can go dark on your eye. You can still go dark on your eye, and I'm gonna show you what I would do and how I would do that. So I like using a brush, let's see, which one do I wanna use? I wanna use this one. Can you guys see this one? This is more dense. It's very small. It's like a pencil smudge. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys can see the difference. This is like a pencil smudge brush, okay? It's very small. Look at it next to my eye. I'm gonna be able to get right into this little crevice right here, and that's where I wanna work. So I'm gonna go in with this color. This is called Lullaby right here. And I'm going to just put a little on there, and I'm going to start. So here is where the edge of my eye is. And if you look at the edge of my eye, it's pretty well lined up with the tail of my brow. So I'm going to kind of look sideways. So if I had a mirror, I would look sideways, kind of down a little bit into it. And I'm going to almost like make a mark where an extra eyelash would be, like this, okay? And I'm going to take a little more on my brush. Now what happens is we get right here to this fold on our crease, and we don't know what to do. So you're gonna actually go above that crease. You're gonna come up here. So I'm just drawing a line basically from the edge of my brow to the tail, just like this. And I'm gonna darken it, but I'm not going much farther than the arch. So kind of like to give you an idea, here to here is as far as I'm keeping that dark color. Why am I doing that? Because I want to still keep my eye open, but I want to give it like more of an elongated look. So I'm just going to go like that. So I like using this pencil brush because it's going to give me more control, okay? So now I'm just going to kind of deepen that just so you can really see it. Once you've gotten that placement, you can then close your eyes, but it's all about kind of getting the placement first. So can you see how we're kind of creating almost like, do you remember in junior high, I don't know if you did this, I did this. I took an art class and we had to learn how to shade different things. So we'd like make a fruit and we'd have to shade, and you'd start dark and then you work kind of light. And what that did was that gave it that really nice shadowy look. It's the same thing you're doing with your eyeshadow. You're kind of starting light to dark and you're going outwards, so then it's gonna give you that nice elongated look. I could go darker on my outer corner if I wanted to, but I'm just gonna show you and keep it really simple. Once I've gotten that, then I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more on my brush, and now I'm just gonna go and blend it up towards the tail. Okay. Just like that, keeping it really on that outer corner, but not coming down too far. Look at the difference of where that is versus what happened here. This is more droopy, this is more lifted, okay? And we can fix it. So if you actually if you bring your eye down, we can fix it. I can show you a trick for that. But this is kind of what we wanna do. Now, what we're gonna do now is just to make sure everything looks blended, I'm gonna go back in with the first color I used, and I'm going to just blend all of that together. That transition color, whatever color you used first, is one that you wanna always make sure that you go back in and really blend, because it's gonna make everything look more cohesive. You're not gonna have like this three-toned look, if that makes sense, okay? Can we see the difference here of how this is more lifted, more elongated, not using heavy products, but it's still giving me that look. This one looks a little bit more heavy, it looks a lot more droopy. A lot more skipping, a lot more texture. Get nice and close so you can see. Okay. Now, here's a fun part. Now, a lot of us love shimmer. I love shimmer. Do I think you should not use shimmer? No, I think you should use shimmer. I think shimmer is fun, and I love makeup to be fun. And if you do it correctly, you're not gonna have a lot of texture showing through. So I really believe that at any age you can wear texture, but it's the right products. Okay, let me read this. So light first, then the medium, then dark, then go back to, yes, so that light one is called your transition shade, and that transition shade is gonna blend everything really seamlessly so you don't have a bunch of different colors. Let's see, did I miss anything else? Okay, all right, so let's talk shimmer. I love shimmer. There is lots of ways to wear shimmer. You can wear a shimmer like this one. I love like a micro shimmer. A micro shimmer means that your shimmer isn't like sparkly. Like, do you remember back in the day where we would use something really sparkly and heavy? A micro shimmer is gonna be very tiny, shimmery, pigmented type eyeshadow, okay? You can use something like Aquaphor. We have a balm that I like to use, and you can turn it into a cream if you want it to be like a little bit less shimmery, and it's gonna be more smooth. So there's that. Or I have found so many good eyeshadow sticks that I want to share with you. I love these. I used one in my video yesterday and I got a lot of questions on it, but there's so many different ones. And especially if you are more mature, maybe you have a hard time seeing, maybe you have a lot of texture, these eyeshadow sticks make it really easy as well to do these kind of looks. So these are the first ones I want to show you. These are NYX. These are the jumbo, let's see, what are these? These are the jumbo multi-use face sticks. You can use them as an illuminator too, but they look like this. And they're just a creamy, creamy formula. See how creamy that is? It's still a shimmer, but it's gonna lay really nice on the eye. This one is in the color, I have absolutely no clue actually. I don't know what color this one is. I have these linked on my Amazon storefront, so if you want the colors, that's where they would be. This is the Julep. So Julep is another brand that I found and I absolutely love it. This one is also a cream. They have a ton of colors in that one, but see how that just, look how nicely those are gonna lay on your skin, and they're cream. So I absolutely love those. Julep is also linked on my storefront. And then recently I found these and I'm absolutely in love with these. These are the ColourPop shadow sticks. They look like this. So they actually have them in matte colors, which you could use. And this one is their shimmer, but look how pretty that is. I mean, I put that right on a wrinkle on my skin and it's still not giving me a lot of texture, okay? I'm hoping I get it posted either today or tomorrow on my under eyes. And thank you, you're so sweet. Okay, I'm gonna use this one. Okay, so this is in the color, gosh, why don't they mark these better? Socialite Metallic, okay? I wanna show you where I would place the shimmer. So I'm not gonna take this and place it all over the lid because I do have makeup. I have my eyeshadow up to here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this and run that under where my natural crease is. And this is gonna give me just a really pretty shimmery look without popping too much texture. Hopefully you can see that. Isn't that pretty? I love it. You can also take a lighter color, so you could take a color like this Julep one, and you could put that in the inner corner to brighten. But I love these because they give a really bright look. Look at the difference of how that just lightened my eye and it just lifted. And I don't even have eyeliner on yet. So I love, love, love how that works. Okay. I gotta go in just a minute, so I gotta hurry. We might have to do a part 2, you guys. All right, so this is what I would do. And then also the other quick thing that you can do is you can use a light shade, so like a light concealer shade, and you can put it right under the arch of the brow to get more of a lift. And then you can also go right here on the outer corner of the eye, kind of like right where your eyelash or last eyelash would be, and tap that up to the temples. And look at how the difference. Crazy. Okay, I'm gonna be done because I actually have to take my dog to the groomer or to the vet because she's been very sick. So I will do a part 2, hopefully maybe this week. I will try to do it this week, of eyeliner for mature eyes, and then pay attention, be ready for that under eye video. I will get that up, I promise, because I know I've gotten so many questions from you guys. I hope this was helpful. I will link everything. It might take me a little bit of time because I've got to, like I said, go to the vet, but let me know in the comments too when I do post this if there's other things you want to see. I would love to help you. If you want a free color match, either comment match below or you can text that number I pinned. So, all right, you guys, thanks for hanging with me. I hope you have the best Monday. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'm hoping these tips are helpful. Okay, bye.